Hi everyone, hope you're all well. Today I'm going to do a feed on how to find deals. Now, back in 2016, I wrote a book called 45 Ways to Buy Property or 45 Ways to Find Property. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to dissect it. So for those that have read it, great. This is going to be a bit of a recap for you. For those that haven't, then listen to the end because I've got some really great tips to share with you. Now I've got my notes here behind me on the computer screen if you see me looking away from the camera, because it is, it's going to take, about 20 minutes or so to go through my top tips for you on how you can find property. Now I know that many people will go into the property industry, and with anything, energy levels ebb and flow. So sometimes you feel really great and you're out there and you're doing everything right. Then all of a sudden, about 2 or 3 days later, everything kind of crashes down. The deals that you thought you had have potentially fallen through, and then it's all gone wrong. So what I'm going to do today is try and just explain to you that. Number one, the more leads you get, now this is a numbers game, you've got to keep bringing those leads in. The more leads you get, obviously then will result in the more deals that you will have at the other side, but you've got to keep that flow. You've got to keep the leads coming in. And what I'm going to do today is show you how to bring those leads in. Okay, so the first of all is, number one, is self-promotion. Now, we talked about this a lot last week about self-promotion. You need to stand out head and shoulders above the rest of your competitors. How do you do that? Well, there's loads of ways you can do that. Now, first of all, you've got to position yourself. Now, I'm not talking about fake it until you make it or anything like that, because, that's not a particularly good strategy, but you need to position yourself as the go-to person for that particular property strategy. How do you do that? First of all, we spoke about last week about Facebook groups, Facebook pages, networking groups, making sure that you take advantage of your pitch when you do your networking service provider announcement, because a lot of the networking groups out there will allow you to stand up and tell people why you are there. So you've got to make sure that you do that. Now that's going to stretch you, it's going to take you out of your comfort zone, but you've got to do that in order to be able to move forwards. Because what you're trying to do here is position yourself as the go-to person. So if somebody's got leads or a deal sourcer perhaps in the room and they see you standing up and saying, hey, I'm Rick and I'm here and I'm looking for great property deals, then they're going to go to you first, okay? The next thing is your Facebook profile. What does it say about you? If people go onto your Facebook profile and they go through your feed, is your feed just going to be negative, 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 negative? Or is it going to be positive, positive? I'm out looking for deals. I'm out getting deals. I'm out helping people find deals. Is it going to portray you in a professional manner? Is it going to make you look like the go-to person? So that's really important, folks. Okay, I'm not going to labor too much about that because we did that last week, but positioning is really important. Now, the next aspect are the property portals. Now, very often we overlook the property portals. So we've got Rightmove, we've got Zoopla, we've got something called home.co.uk. There's a website called mouseprice.com. We've got propertybee.com. We've got onthemarket.com. So let's just break those down individually. Now, I've got some stats here, so I'm going to refer to my screen. Now, rightmove.co.uk. The average number of properties on Rightmove are 800,000. 800,000 properties on Rightmove. Now that's huge. Now that is an absolutely, it's a dizzying comparison compared to what's on the market on all the other platforms. Now you can set yourself up some parameters on Rightmove that will allow you then to get notifications when something comes in that meets your criteria. Now, you must set some time aside on your property days in order to be able to go through Rightmove, because if they're good deals, they're not going to be on the market long, folks. You've got to make sure that you are up early enough to be able to get in there before anybody else. 800,000 properties. Now, there's got to be some deals on there. Are you utilizing Rightmove? Is that something that you're overlooking because you're concentrating just on one strategy? So really important, folks. So you need to set yourself time every property investing day to go through Rightmove. Maybe you could do it first thing in the morning, spend half an hour just going through the deals in your area and then moving on to the next platform. So yeah, set yourself up alerts on Rightmove. The next one, Zoopla. So again, Zoopla has 500,000 properties on average across its platform. It's very, it's very similar. It's the same kind of thing. So do the same. Spend some time on Rightmove, then spend some time on Zoopla. There's a portal called home.co.uk. It's a bit of a clunky site, but it is a very different site. So maybe have a look at that, home.co.uk. Then we've got mouseprice.com. Now, Mouseprice is slightly different because Mouseprice will give you a lot of the history on the property that's been listed. Excuse me. So if you don't look at Mouseprice at the moment, put it as part of your daily routine. It will tell you the comparables in the area. It will tell you property prices that have been sold, and it will also give you an online valuation for your property that you're looking at right now. And it's a really good tool. And it's, it's quite accurate as well. So mouseprice.com. Then there is propertybee.com. Now, it's not strictly a website to find property, but you have to use this on the Firefox browser. It's just another different portal out there that can help you see properties. It will tell you when the seller put the property up on the market. It will give you that information. It will tell you price changes and fluctuations of that property if it's been moved. It will tell you when the property has gone on subject to sale, subject to contract, and if it's come back on the market. And it will give you all the changes, and it will detail them since the property was listed. That's called propertybee.com, folks. Okay, I'm looking at my notes here, folks. That's why you can see my eyes moving. With these live feeds, it's important that I give you all the information that I can. I can't remember absolutely everything. Okay, the next one, onthemarket.com. Now, onthemarket.com is another platform. It's got on average 250,000 properties listed. It launched in January 2015 after 6 of the leading estate agents clubbed together to challenge Rightmove and Zoopla. Okay, so that kind of shaken up the online industry a little bit. But importantly, some properties on here can only be used on one portal, so you might need to combine them with the others. So that's onthemarket.com. Okay, now the other one is deal sourcing. If you're struggling to find property deals, have you considered using a deal sourcer? Now, I'm not going to put deal sources down or agents down or, letting agents, estate agents down, because all of these people are out there to make our life easier. Now, there are lots of people out there that are sourcing deals. Have you connected with them? Have you made them aware that you're looking for deals in particular areas? Because if you haven't, then you're missing another trick. Get on their database. It's really important with deal sources that you do your due diligence as much as you would have to with a property mentor or anybody else or a life coach, etc. Because it's really important that they understand what works for you as a deal. It might not necessarily be a deal for them. That might be a deal for you. It might not be a deal for me. We are all very different in what we look for in our category of deal, what makes a deal and what isn't a deal. So make sure they're aware. If they send a deal to you and it looks like it's interesting, that's then when you do your due diligence. Now, you do your due diligence the same way as you would if you were buying a deal from Rightmove or Zoopla. It's no different. It's just come from a sourcer. Okay, it's just no different at all. Now, you're going to have to pay the sourcer a fee. Now, I don't know what those fees will be. It really depends on the size of the deal and the profit margins. But you can expect to pay anything from £2,000 up to £5,000 depending on the deal. But you've got to make sure you do your due diligence. So I'm going to ask you a question now. Have you registered with a deal sourcer? Are you talking to other people saying you can't find deals, you can't find deals, you can't find deals, but you're not registered with a deal sourcer? So get on their books. Start to look at what they've got to offer. Deal sources will bring to the table lease options. They'll bring to the table purchases, flips, rent to rents. They are all there. So you must make sure that you are involved with all of these strategies, folks, not just one. It's great saying that you're going to do leaflets. It's great saying you're going to do direct-to-vendor marketing campaigns. It's great saying that you're going to go out and walk the estate agency strip. But you've got to do all of them, because collectively they will start to bring the leads in for you. And when you get the leads in, that's when you become busy. That's when you convert your leads into deals. Okay. The next thing is, the big bright yellow business cards. Have you got one? It's just another idea for you. You could get a business card, you could have it in bright yellow, and on the back you could write £1,000. And then on the front you could write, if you can suggest a deal, or if you refer a property to us that turns into a deal, we will pay you £1,000. So when you go out networking, of course, put your number on there. It'd be no good if you didn't. You can give that to people. So if they find a deal that perhaps doesn't work for them, they may think, how am I going to maximize on this? Well, I've got a card here that tells me I'm going to get paid £1,000 for suggesting this deal, or maybe, if this deal goes over the line. So they might call you. So make sure you've got cards that people are aware of what it is that you are looking to achieve. Now, the next thing on my list, we call this walking the strip. This is so important. Now, if your areas of investment are very similar to where we invest, most of your estate agents, or 80% of them, will be on the same road. That's kind of the same with restaurants and curry houses and all of that kind of thing as well with us. So make sure that you are actively out there walking the strip. Set yourself time each week to go and visit your agents. Now, you've got to do this regularly. You can't just do it once. Go into the agents initially, tell them what you're looking for, ask them to contact you directly if they get any leads that come in. Because first of all, agents want to, like anybody, they want to go down the path of least resistance. What does that mean? Well, it means that if they get a property deal that comes into them, rather than putting it out on the market straight away, if they've got a buyer that's ready to move, they're not even going to advertise it. They're going to contact you directly and do a back-to-back sale. It's not worth their trouble advertising it if they know they can sell it off market. So you must make sure that you are in that list, you're in that book. You're not going to do it just by going and knocking on the door once and saying, hi, I'm Dave, I'm a property investor, give me a call. It's going to take more than that. So here's a few tips for you, okay? Number one, set time aside once a fortnight, at the very least once a fortnight, to go and walk into each estate agent just to bump yourself back up the list. So initially you're going to have to go and make contact, then go in every 2 weeks at least and say, hi, I'm here. Is there anything? You haven't forgotten me, have you? Excellent. See you soon. Now, once you've done that, you must make sure that you take your agent's card. And once you've got the card, you then must make sure that you send a follow-up email. So you'll put, hi, John, it's Dave. I came to see you today. Just to reiterate, what I'm looking for are properties that I can convert to HMOs or serviced accommodation or whatever your strategy in the area of within the price range of. And that's it. Make sure that you follow it through with an email, because that then will cement your interest, and then they will hopefully put you on their mailing list. Okay, cool. Next on the list, letting agents the same. So going into letting agents and say, don't just call them. When we make phone calls, that's great because you can leverage your time, but it doesn't put a face to the name. It doesn't really show, the person what you're really like. So make sure that you are doing the same with letting agents. Go and see them if they have got a front-facing office, of course, many of which now will work from home. But if they have got an office, go and see them. Excuse me, folks, got another croaky voice again today. And go and tell them what you're looking for. You're looking for properties that potentially you can turn into HMOs in order to house with your tenants. Let's be honest with people. Let's not bullshit people. Let's tell people exactly what we're doing here. So what it is that you're doing. Hello, Mr. Agent. I'm a landlord, a local landlord. I've got my own tenants, and what I'm looking to do is expand my portfolio, enable for me to house more tenants because I've got more supply than demand. So we're looking to do agreements where we can rent property off people directly. You can manage it. We're not going to cut you out and then we're going to put our own tenants in there. We can do this for about 3 years, guaranteed, so your client can walk away for 3 years knowing they're going to get paid. And that's it. You know, let's not overcomplicate it. Let's not say, hey, I'm a relocation agent and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. That's just bollocks, isn't it, really? Isn't it? It is. Let's just keep it real. You know, when we tell you this kind of stuff, we tell you just to keep it real, be open and be transparent. Hello, Mr. Agent. I am a local property investor. I've got a surplus of tenants at the moment. I'm looking for more properties that I can potentially turn into HMOs to house our own tenants. Now, we're looking to do guaranteed rents, so we can rent the property from your client for 3 years. We'll pay them the rent every month, regardless of whether the property is occupied or not, and you can still manage us during that process. What do you think? That's completely open and transparent, isn't it? We're not using terminology. We're not saying we're what's a relocation agent? We don't do that. We're not relocation agents. What we are is we are landlords. We have got our own tenants and we're looking for more properties in order to put our tenants in there. That's what we do. You know, agents aren't stupid. They know what rent to rent is, folks. You know, it's not a new strategy. It's not something that's just popped up around the corner. Anyway, rant over. Go over to your agents, speak to them, speak to your letting agents, tell them what you do, build a rapport, okay? Now, rent to rent is a great strategy if you explain it properly. If you start confusing people and say that you're a corporate client or you're a business and you're housing your own tenants, that kind of makes them think that you are looking for somebody to rent a property to you into a business to house your staff, doesn't it? And it's not what we're doing, is it? Let's be honest, let's be open, let's be completely transparent. That way, you will get more people to entrust into you and your business model because people buy from people. And if you start to lie or if you start to BS people, they're going to see straight through it. And you know, you're going to lose potential. Let's just be honest, okay? That's all you have to do. Okay, newspaper adverts is the next one. Now, I've had really bad results from newspaper adverts. It is another strategy you can use, but there's a couple of things to consider here. Newspaper adverts are expensive and they are very scattergun approach. So you're going to go out to a very broad market and not everyone that reads those adverts are going to be property investors. I think newspaper adverts are for a certain demographic, perhaps for people that have been in the industry a long time. They're not really computer savvy. They're not on Facebook and on Facebook and social media, etc. I've found that newspaper adverts for us have been really low level, and we have had calls, but we've had calls from other property investors wanting to know why we are advertising in their local area. So we've never had really good deals from it. So be careful with that. Now, the next thing is here, walking the street. Have you got any downtime? I say walk, you know, go in your car. Maybe just go travelling in your local area. Go down the side streets, get a map, plot yourself a course and see what's on the market. See that, you know, because sometimes you've got these private, is it free agent now that's popping up? Some private estate agents. Sorry about my cough, folks. So there's the potential there for you to be able to call them directly or take some letters with you, take some postcards with you. And if you see a dilapidated property, just pop your card through the door, maybe. It's just another way that you can potentially get property because, you know, sometimes you drive down the street and you'll see a dilapidated property that's either being lived in still or not, but it's not advertised. So get some cards with you, keep them in your glove box of your car, ready just to pop into people's letterboxes. So you can just literally drive past, stop, pop your card in and drive on. It's a great strategy, sometimes works. Okay, next. Networking, we've covered networking, love it or hate it, you've got to network. There's some great networking events out there, some are free, some are paid, but you've got to make sure that when you do go, you tell people why you are there. Don't just stand there like a wallflower in the corner, not telling people what you're doing. Don't look at me, you know, don't make eye contact, is that you? Or you've got your best friend with you, your phone, and you're pretending to text people or you're on social media. The first thing to do is either leave your phone at home or turn it on silent or turn it off, put it in your pocket. So you're not tempted to get it out and check, because it's really easy at a networking event to try and just hide in the corner. But if you're doing that, there's no point in you being there. You might as well stay at home. So go networking. It's a fundamental part of your business. It's not very expensive. It's really cost effective. Get yourself out there. Tell people what you do. Now, that means networking on social media as well. Okay. The other aspect are, again, this is kind of with networking meetings. National Landlords Association have got meetings around the country. I find that the demographic of the NLA is quite different, quite an older generation, I think. I've presented on the NLA circuit quite a bit, and I think the demographic is very different than the other networking events like the PIN network and the PPN network. Very different, very different demographic of people in both. And that's the same with the RLA as well, the Resident Landlords Association. So they've got some great networking events too. Social media we've done. Facebook, have people looked at you? What's on your profile? That's really important. Twitter, again, another different demographic, but one tweet a day. Hey, I'm looking for deals, contact me. It's great to put that out there. It takes seconds to do it. The same on LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn's really powerful, folks. It is, again, very different than Facebook, but make sure you're posting on LinkedIn. Make sure that you're putting yourself out there. You know, LinkedIn allow you to do short videos as well now. So maybe you could put out there that, you know, your pitch. Hi, I'm Rick Gannon. I'm a local property investor and look for HMOs in the area of Liverpool. I'm currently in the market right now. We're growing our portfolio. If you know anybody that needs help with their property portfolio or anybody that's looking to sell for a very quick sale and a guaranteed sale, and come and speak to me. I don't know, I just made that up. But that's all you have to do, okay? LinkedIn, really, really powerful. Okay, the next one, leaflets. Leaflet distribution is, again, a very good marketing strategy, but very different because, again, it's not targeted specifically to only HMOs. So if you're looking for any property that you can perhaps convert, so if you're not in Article 4 area, then leafleting is still a very good strategy to use. Now, Article 4 area, folks, for those that don't know what that is, that means that permitted development rights have been taken away, which means you can't convert a house into a HMO without planning permission. So if your area's got Article 4, then this strategy probably won't work as well. But it will if your area doesn't. So leaflets are great. Make sure that you use a company. Don't be overpowering with what you put on the leaflet. It needs to be punchy. We buy houses, or sell your house, or rent your house, something like that. Then on the back, call now. Don't overpower the leaflet with language. Just make sure it's punchy. It tells people what to do. Then it gives a call to action, which is call now. And then just get them out there. Don't overthink it. So, you know, a lot of what we do with deal sourcing, we overthink it. We look for perfection. It doesn't matter. Prolific beats perfection. The more you put out there, the more you will get back. It doesn't have to be perfect. Look at Microsoft, folks. This is one of the best examples. They went out and controlled the market. Was their product perfect? Was Microsoft Windows perfect? Absolutely not, and far from it. But they dominated the computer market anyway because the marketing was absolutely outstanding. You know, their products were never perfect. They knew that. They just wanted to get them out there. So prolific beats perfection. Okay, auctions. I've seen a lot about auctions in the social media feeds just recently. Great way of buying property. Could you buy out of auction? If you see a property that's going into auction, could you offer out of auction? Now, not all auction properties sell. You know, very often some of them will fail to sell. Now, if somebody's offering to buy out of auction, then potentially they might say, you know what, yeah, okay, let's do it. It's a good deal, let's do it, okay? So auctions, buying out of auctions. If you do go to an auction, make sure that you've looked at the auction pack first, if you've got it, if there is one available. Make sure that you've done as much due diligence as you possibly can do, because as soon as that hammer goes down, folks, you are committed to buy. Okay, next. Here's one for you. House clearance businesses. House clearance businesses. You know, in your local area, you will have some house clearance companies. You know, these people that will go and clear a property when somebody dies or when somebody moves, and then they will sell all of their items in their shop. Now, it's just an idea. Get yourself into the house clearance businesses with your card. And maybe even you could advertise on the side of their van, buy some magnetic strips from, I don't know, was it Pronto Print or Vista Print, and take them with you and offer to pay the house clearance company to advertise your property business on the side of their van. Maybe you could give them £100 a month or £200 a month. How much is it worth to you to get one deal a month from their business? You could even go up to £300, maybe £400 a month, I don't know. But it's another great way of thinking outside the box and doing more than the average person. Because if you're sat here now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I've got no deals, it's all right for you, it's all right. Have you done this? You've got to move yourself out. You've got to do and be prepared to do what others won't to have the lifestyle that others can't. Remember that quote, okay? So that's, house clearance businesses. They are at the forefront of doing what we want to do. They're going to house clearances, potentially to bequeathed estates, people that are moving abroad, etc. And if your sign is on their van, we buy houses now, cash, and they're outside stripping out somebody's house and the relatives are there, are they going to think of you? They might do. And this is all about doing a little bit more than everybody else is prepared to do. Now, here's another one, window cleaners. Wow, that's thinking outside the box, isn't it? Do the same on the side of a window cleaning van. Why not? Locksmiths. That's another great one. Locksmiths generally will go out, obviously, because people have locked themselves out, but most of which will be landlords because their tenants have locked themselves out. And if they're remote operating landlords, I don't know. So maybe put yourself on the side of a locksmith's van. It's just another idea, folks. Don't shoot the messenger. These are just thinking outside the box, okay? Gas engineers, heating engineers, tradesmen, plumbers, electricians, okay? Takeaway ads. Now, you know what? Takeaway people have got this nailed, haven't they? Because how many leaflets do you get on a weekly basis advertising for pizza or for Chinese food or Indian food? Why not piggyback off the back of their leaflet and ask them if you could sponsor an ad on their leaflet? So you might get it quarter of the price, but it's still going out to the same demographic area that you want to target. And everybody wins. They get paid a bit and you get it to advertise your business a lot cheaper. I don't know. It's just an idea. Postcards. Now, postcards are generally what you know what a postcard is, and you put your services and then you put it up in a window of a local news agency. Now, we've had very poor results with postcards. In fact, we've put the postcards in, half an hour later we've gone by and the postcards have been taken out again. So, you can try it. It is quite time consuming because you're going to have to go around all of the local shops and ask them if they can put the postcard in the window. Give it a go. I think most news agents and local shops will charge you, 50p or £1 for a week or something like that. It's just another element and another string to your bow. Okay, next. Here's another one. This is a different one, really. So I've got pub sales here. It's a very different strategy. So there are companies called Sydney Phillips and Florets. Have a look at them, folks. sydneyphillips.co.uk. Robin Mentz is the MD, know him very well. And Florets. Now, they are specialists in selling commercial property, i.e. pubs. Now, sometimes if you get hold of a great deal, a pub that's in the middle of maybe a housing estate or on a terraced street in the middle of a city centre like there used to be, there is no longer any call for the pub, the business has failed. You might have a very strong case then to turn that pub into a HMO with planning permission. You will need planning permission. But you've got to understand that it's not easy. Pubs come with a lot of restrictions, or can do. First of all, you've got CAMRA, the Campaign for Real Ale. The people around CAMRA don't want pubs closing down. You've also got something called an ACV, or an asset of community value. So if the local community feel that that pub has got community asset value and they don't want it closing down, they could put a restriction on that property on land registry in order for you have to offer it to the community first before you sell it, which means it's, if it's got an ACV on it, are you then able to go and convert it into a residential dwelling? Has it got any covenants on it? But, it's another way of looking for property. Now, pubs are closing down left, right and centre. I own a pub. I do have a little bit of knowledge in this. It's not easy getting planning permission, but it can be done. So are you looking for pubs, etc.? And care homes, the same. Old commercial properties like dentist surgeries, doctors, office blocks. It's all strings to your bow, folks. I know I'm rattling through this. We're already half an hour in. Forums. You know, when I say forums, go on to Gumtree, have a look to see if there are any landlords advertising their services in terms of selling or renting their properties, because there will be. Put yourself on Gumtree advertising that you're looking to buy or you're looking to rent property as well. If you're not doing that, you're missing another trick. You know, all of these will, you know, we've got this funnel. And it's our job to have all of these elements going into this funnel that will spit out the deals. So get yourself out on Gumtree, and again on Facebook. Make sure that you've got pages out there. Have you got a sponsored advert? If you've got a Facebook page, you could do a sponsored advert. You could even do a video, not as long as this, but you could do a video and put it out there to say that you're looking for properties. And then you can sponsor that Facebook advert to a demographic of people. So you could target landlords in Wrexham, for example, and that advert then will only go to people that have registered their interest on Facebook as being in Wrexham and landlords. It's a great way of putting yourself out there, saying, hey, you know, I'm out there, I'm looking for deals. If you're a landlord, if you're in Wrexham, if you're looking for someone to manage your property for you, or if you're looking for a sale, give me a shout. And then you can set the advert up so they can message you directly, or they can phone you, or they can click on the link which will go to a lead page which will invite them to put their details in. So Facebook and Gumtree, really powerful, folks. If you're not doing that, do it. Okay, next, nearly there. Daltons Weekly. We talked earlier about commercial property. There's a publication called Daltons Weekly. They sell businesses, they sell portfolios, and they sell bigger deals. Get hold of it, subscribe to it, have a look at it, see what's in the classifieds. Usually there are the bigger deals in there, but there are businesses for sale on a weekly basis in Daltons Weekly, and very often you'll see the big portfolios of HMO properties in there if you're looking to buy portfolios, or if you're looking to buy the shares of the company that owns the portfolios. Little bit of an off-the-wall one here, a bit guerrilla marketing. Not sure I like this one. Lamppost advertising, guerrilla boards. I'm not a big lover of them, but I know that they do work. But whilst we, let's flip that. We've got people on our program that are sponsored roundabouts. They've got a roundabout for a year or 18 months. They're allowed to have 3 adverts on there. They've commissioned someone to do the adverts in metal, and they are getting loads of leads from that. So if you've got a roundabout on a very busy junction in your area, very often you can sponsor it. You can pay to advertise on there. Now that is fantastic marketing. That will also profile you as well. That will put you head and shoulders above everybody else when it comes to profiling. Consider that, folks. Contact your council, ask them if you can sponsor a roundabout. Very often, if you can sponsor them, they will have a sign in the middle saying, sponsor this roundabout. Next, car boot sales. You know, set yourself, this is like for £5, what is it to go to a car boot on a Sunday? Maybe £5 or £10. Now this is something that's really out there. Nobody does this. So why don't we just change this and flip it? Get yourself some marketing boards, you know, the roller banners. Get yourself loads of really good A4, A5 leaflets, and go to a car boot sale. And stand there as the person that is buying property or renting property. Get yourself some banners that say, we offer guaranteed rent for your house, even if it is void, or something like that. And just stand there at a car boot. It's going to cost you £10 for 4 or 5 hours. How many people are going to go through that car boot sale that day? Give it a go. This is just thinking outside the box. You know what? You can make this work. If you're prepared to put the work in, you will get the rewards out, folks, because who does this? Nobody does this. But these are all, you know, great ideas for you to be able to go out and do things differently than everybody else. Okay, next. Of course, direct to vendor landlord letters. By far the most successful campaign driven exercise that you can do. Okay, so direct to vendor letters, you know what they are. Get hold of your landlord list. If you don't know how to do that, contact me, and then you can start writing to your landlords, writing to the people that have already got HMO property. And those are the people that you need to be targeting. Can you hear my dogs barking in the background? The postman's just been, and the dogs are barking. I'm in my home office today. Next. Is that it? Have we done it? We've done it. And the last thing is just take action. So the more you put yourself out there, the more successful you will be. That goes without saying. Those are just some examples, folks. I haven't done 45. I skipped through a couple of them, but that just gives you, you know, a few examples of what can you do. So if you're there now thinking, I'm not getting deals, how can I get deals? I've just given you about 30 different ways. How many of those are you actually doing? If you're just doing one, you're missing the trick. Yes, you can focus on one as your principal strategy, but the rest of them will all put leads into that funnel. Hope you enjoyed that, folks. Give me some comments if you've got any suggestions or anything that you think I've missed out. If you don't agree with any of the strategies that I've put, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below. Speak to you later. Have a great day.